Hi guys, and welcome to C# tutorial of a login system using Microsoft Access database. I'm going to start by checking to make sure the database is connected. I'll just click on the form to confirm that.
Database successfully connected.
Okay, so let's enter the user's details right in here. I'm going to enter Peter Gambino. And for us, you can check whatever password you enter in there by clicking on this. There, that's Peter Gambino, and let's click on login.
Duplicated login details.
The system automatically clears that because Gambino is duplicated on the Access database. Let me show you guys the Access database right there. You can see Peter Gambino here and Peter Gambino here as well. So let's just enter whatever username and password that you guys can see. I'm just going to pick on any of those. So let's go for Sunny Money. So if you want to check, you can just check who is Sunny Money. Okay, click on that. Or let's click on reset and see what's going to happen.
Confirm if you want to reset.
Nope, I don't want to reset.
Confirm if you want to exit.
Nope, you can see the system actually gives the end user feedback. This is very good for those who are visually impaired. So let's click on login anyway.
You have successfully logged in.
You hear that, guys? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into C# development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay, let's exit out and just start a new project. So right in here, I'm going to click on create new project, and let's select Windows Forms application.net C#. And I'm going to click on next, and right in here I'm going to enter just a CS underscore login underscore ms underscore access. Just for your information, I'm using Visual Studio 2022, and click on create. There we go. So I'm now going to go straight to the properties in here. Let's pick that down, and in here I'm going to change the size of my form to 1386 by 788. There, that's my form 1 taken care of. I'm also going to go back to my project here just to get form 2. Let's come in here and just select form 2 right there. That is form 2. I'm not going to bother give it a name. That's just the form that we should log into. So that is form 2. I'm going to change the details of form 2 as well to 1386 by 788. There, that is form 2. Let's go back to form 1 right here. Click on form 1, and inside form 1 we need as follows. So I'm going to get hold of a panel, just drag it that much, and go straight to the properties of this panel. I'm going to change the border style to fixed 3D. There we go. And now I need labels and text box. Go back to my properties in there, grab hold of text box and labels. We have text box here, and I'm just going to drop this rectangle down, select multi-line. That's fine. We need labels somewhere here. Grab hold of label, and again we also need buttons there. And right on this side I'm going to get hold of checkbox. Alright, so select it all apart from the checkbox, and I just increase the font size to something a little bit readable. I'm going to make that about 28 and click on OK. There. And now these two components, hold on to your control, click and drag. Now we have 2. Now we need the buttons, 1 button, 2 buttons, and 3 buttons there. Now move all of these down a little bit, something like that. Now the next thing that I'm going to do before I go any further is I'm going to come up here. You see the projects. I need pictures of the open eye and the closed eye. The pictures of the open eye and closed eye would develop those ones using Adobe Anime. So you can always develop one for yourself. Once you just draw things like this, go to File, come to Export, and export it as image. Then make sure you select transparency and just click on Save. Give it whatever name you want to give to it, and that is all there is to that. So I'm going to close that. I don't need that anymore. Now you guys know how to do that. Alright, that is the Adobe gone. Now that Adobe is gone, I'm going to go straight to the project here. Click on Project, and I will select the name of my project. That is it right there. Click on that. Okay, the images of the open and close eye, I need them on my system. So I'm going to come in here to Resources, click on Resources, and where we have these strings, drop it down and let's select images. And right beside it, you see where you have Add Resources. Click on Add Resources and click on Add Existing File. The existing file I intend to add is right on my desktop. That is it right there. The open and close eye. There we go. There. Now that that is done, and I'm going to go back to design. Right, now let's select the checkbox. Inside the checkbox, I want to change the appearance. Come straight here. See where we have the properties. First of all, let's give it a name. I'm going to change that to CHK Eyes. That's fine. There. And I will now come down here. You see where we have the appearance of this checkbox. Change the appearance of the text box to button. There. Scroll right down. Let's go to image. Look at the image right there. I'm going to use one of these closed. I will use that as the default. We have closed in there. I also need to get rid of the text inside it. Alright, that is that done. Now this very one now, let's give that a name. That will be txt username. And the label will be username. Come in here, change the label to username. This tutorial is actually good for beginners, so that's why I'm showing you the whole process. There we go. That's password. Change this to txt password. There. And this very button, that's going to become btn exit. Come right down here, copy that, scroll right down, change the name, the text details to edit, and this is going to be known as reset. And the variable name will be changed to btn reset. Right here, this very button will be known as btn login. The text content on it will be login. Scroll right down, change that to login. There, that is that done. Now the next thing that we want to do, we actually need to import some libraries. Okay, and those libraries will include the following. Let's come in here, come straight to the project first right here, click on that, and we need add reference. This very add reference, what I want in there is speech. Click on add reference. Instead of me searching for speech, I'm just going to go into the search in there, click on the search and just type in speech. And that is it right there, system.speech. Click on that there and click on OK. There we go. We've officially added that very library speech into that. Before I go any further again, I'm going to go back to the project again. Click on the project. This time around we need manage NuGet package right there. Click on that. All we need in there is for our database, select browse. And in here, let's search for OleDb. That is it right there. And select this very first one. System.database OleDb. It's about 17 point something already downloaded. Click on that. And let's get it installed. See installed? Click on install. And that's what you use to connect your database onto your system. That is that taken care of. As you can see, is successful. So I'm going to minimize that. And I can even close this. I don't need that anymore. Right. So all my system is now ready to start the development. First thing first, let's do this. I'm going to double click on exit. The reason why I double click on exit is just to make sure the sound is working. But first of all, let's come up here. You see, we need to now connect the library. So come in here, we need to enter using system dot speech dot synthesis. There. Okay, now that we've called our very library, let's create a speech synthesizer. So right underneath where we have public, let's increase that so that you guys can see it. Right underneath where we have public partial class from 1, I'm going to press enter. I just need to enter in there speech synthesizer. Okay, now I'm just going to give that a name. I'm not going to use this name. They've given the default name here. I'm going to call that, let's go for SAPI, S-A-P. Okay, I'm going to say SAPI equals new speech synthesizer. There we go. I've just created my object in there. This very object now, I'm going to use that inside my exit button. How I got into exit button is just double click on that. So let's go back into the exit button. But first and first, I'm going to say use try. Okay, let's use try catch. And underneath here, we're going to come down here and say catch. There, just tap to get into that and enter your curly braces as well. So default message is already given to us because this is Visual Studio 2022, as you guys can tell. So the system is very helpful. So right in here, first and first, I'm going to declare the following. Let's say dialog result. And my dialog result, I'm just going to give that a name. I'm going to call it I exit. There we go. Get rid of all of this. Yeah, that's my instant created for the dialog result. And in here, I'm just going to say I exit. That will be equals message box dot show, and now we're going to enter confirm if you want to exit. That will be my very first argument. The second argument is just going to be, I'm going to call that login system. Enter a comma, press enter, and the next argument is going to be message box button dot yes or no. Argument number 2, and argument number 3 is going to be message box question. Okay, we have another argument here, and that is the default. I don't want the default, though. I'm going to press tab and just get rid of this. There. Alright, so that is that done. The next thing I want to do now is to use an if statement to validate whatever selection that is. Visual Studio 2022 just gave me what to enter. That is brilliant. I'm going to press enter and enter curly braces. Right on inside the curly braces, I'm now going to enter application.exit. There we go. .exit. Right. Now, before the application get exit, once you press yes, what we want the system to do is actually confirm with the user first before any other thing. So right underneath here, underneath my dialog result, I'm going to ask SAPI dot speak the following. That is going to be confirm if you want to exit. Okay, that will be very good for those who are visually impaired. So I'm going to copy that and just put it right in there. There we go. There. Okay, that takes care of my exit from here down here. Okay, I'm going to run that now. Let's run that and see how that's going to work. There we go, guys. I'm going to click on exit now.
Confirm if you want to exit.
You see that? No.
Confirm if you want to exit.
There we go. You see the speech is working. That is fine. Alright, let's repeat the same thing for Claire. Double click on Claire. All I want Claire to do is just to clear the whole system. I'm going to grab hold of all of these. Just paste that inside the reset. And inside reset, all I need to do in here, I'm going to say txt password dot Claire. And repeat the same thing for username. dot text equals there. So I've shown you guys two different methods. You can use this or you can use this. That is that done. And one other thing is, now let's get a focus. Let's say dot focus. Once you clear it, we just want the system to focus back on username. And that is that done. Now we want the system to say confirm if you want to reset. There. So let's put reset in here. There we go. Run it. This is a very nice tutorial for beginners, and it has a lot of resources to help those who are visually impaired or anybody who needs help. Right, let's click on, let's say we enter whatever in there.
Confirm if you want to reset.
Nope.
Confirm if you want to reset.
Yes. See that, guys? So that is working. That's fine. Now, the next thing we want to do is, you see this checkbox. I'm going to double click on this checkbox. And right in here, I'm going to use, let's use try catch first. And right inside it, let's enter the catch statement before we continue. Copy that and just paste it right underneath here. There we go. And inside the try itself, I'm going to say as follows: if chk eyes dot check if that is equals true. I think that should be equals true. There. We want the following to happen. So what we want this system to then do is txt password. I think this is the password that should have the char. So we need password to officially have a char, password char on it. So dot password char, and that will be equals, let's say, single quote backslash, that will be 0, which means nothing. End that. Then we also want the image in there to change. So I'm now going to say CI dot image. That image will be equals the properties dot resources, and that will be dot, let's grab a hold of that and an image here, dot open. That will be open. That's the name of the image. Enter semicolon. So the first part of it is taken care of. Else, I'm going to grab a hold of all of these, and I'm going to use else if now. Else if, paste that in there. If this is false, we now want this here to be just star. There. And the image in here, I'm going to change that image to the close one. Click, and that will be closed. That's all there is to that. That is taken care of as well. Okay, that is fine. Now save that. Let's go to the form. You see this text box here? That is the text box that should have the char. So I'm going to come in here, password char. In there I'll just type in a star. So let's run it. You see how that's going to work as well. Run. There we go. So I'm going to enter whatever in there. Look at that. Okay, so if I click on this, there, all the data that I enter in there displays. Close. Okay, open and close. Reset.
Confirm if you want to reset.
Yeah.
Confirm if you want to exit.
Yeah, that is it, taken care of. That's brilliant. Now finally, let's take care of the database itself. Double click on the login. Before we do anything with the login, the first thing I want to do is to come right up here. I need the library for the login itself, so that is going to be using system.data dot OleDb. OleDb. There we go. I've just added the library for my database. Now, take note of this, guys. We need to go straight into what is known as the server. That is the server right there. Inside the server, I need to get hold of the database that I intend to use. The database that I intend to use, this is it right there. Okay, so that very database, I'm going to actually copy it and just put it within this package itself, within the program that I'm working with. Okay, let me show you guys my database. My database is right in there. Look at it. It's right inside my project. So I'm going to close that. Now, first thing first, let's go straight here. You see Server Explorer. Click on the Server Explorer. Okay, if you don't have your Server Explorer there, all you need to do is go to Windows, click on reset the whole layout. Okay, just click on yes to reset it all. Alright, now I'm going to go back in there, click on my Server Explorer, and let's select the Connect to Database. Click on that. And there we go. Our database connector is now here. So all I need to do is to browse to wherever I have my database. So click on Browse. So I'm going to navigate straight to where I have my database. And right there, that's where I have my database. Click on that and just add it straight onto the system and click on Open. There. That is the address of the database. Now, I'm going to click on Test to make sure it's added. Click on that. It is successful. Click on OK. That is fine. The next thing I want to do is, you see right here, we have Advanced. Click on the Advanced. With this dialog that pops up, all we can see in there is the address of the database itself. I'm going to copy that. Okay, copy the address. You're going to need that soon. Click on OK. There, so we can click on OK in here as well, or maybe get rid of the admin first. Just click on OK. That's fine. There we go. But there's one thing I should have shown to you guys though. So I should have shown you guys how to change the database in case you want to do that. I'm going to right click on it and let's select modify back in here. You see here, this is the driver I'm using, the data source, which is Microsoft Access Database. If you want to change it, just click on change and you change it to whatever you intend to or you want to use it for. But since we're using Access Database, that is fine. Just click on OK and click on OK again. Get rid of this admin. There we go. So back in here, let me minimize all of these. Now, the next thing that I want to do, I'm going to come right underneath this public partial class and let's enter OleDb database connection. I'm going to call that con, and con is going to be new OleDb connection, and this connection I'm going to enter parentheses there. Inside this parentheses I will enter art, then enter quotes, double quotes. If you guys can still recall the address that I copied earlier, let me show you guys the address again. Click on Server Explorer, right click on your database, select modify and go to advanced, and right here that is the address that was copied earlier, this very one. Just highlight, right click and copy. You can now close everything, okay, and click on OK. So right here inside the double quotes, I will now paste the address right there. That is my database location. Everything is within the system. So yours is going to be different from mine. Okay, so that you guys can see this, I can even break it to 2 lines so that you see what I'm up to. Alright, that is that done. Now the next thing I want to do is, if you guys can still recall the second form that I added, let me go to the Solution Explorer. The second form is right here. That is the second form. I'm going to create an object in there just to call the second form. The object is going to be form. So let's just call that form. Form 2. Form, let's say me too. Me too, something like that. That will be equals new form 2. This very one. Double click on that. Okay. You can call it whatever you like. I just call it me too. You can call it team. Maybe let's say teams. Okay, team form. There we go. So that's the name of my second form. And make sure you enter semicolon in there. Now, I'm going to do one thing because I intend to use this. I might as well. So right underneath here, I'm going to create a function. You don't have to. You can always put this inside the form load, but I'm just going to create a function for it. This function, I'm going to call it viewer. Press enter, and that very viewer, all I just want it to do is to open up the database and close the database. And because I want to enter speech into it, but first things first, let's say try there, and inside that I'm going to enter database successfully connected, something like that. Okay, first of all, let's get rid of this, and in here I'm just going to open up my database dot open there, and also underneath here I'm going to ask the speech to say as follows: if the database is connected. I'm going to paste that in here and just change this one to database successfully connected. Successfully connected. There we go. And right underneath here, I will now close my database dot close. And that is that done. So the next thing I want to do is to just finalize my cache in there. I can just copy this cache statement in here, copy that, and come right in here, paste it right underneath there. There we go. Now you see this my function. I'm going to copy the function and then place that inside this form initialize. There we go. Enter semicolon. Alright, it's more or less like you pasting it and put it inside form load. So when the form initialized, the database should open. However, there's going to be an error because of my address the way it is. I just did this so that you guys can see all of my codes how it is, but it will give you an error. So let me show you what I'm talking about, because it's meant to be one long address. So if I run it, look at what's going to happen. We end up with an error. There we go. It's saying could not find the installable ISAM. Okay, so I'm going to end it. It still open up the system, but it's not telling me if the database is connected or not. This very one, I want you to say that statement for me. So I'm going to come back in here, just tab and just delete and bring it back to how it was. That was how it was. Okay, it's a long address. Alright, so let's put it right the way it was. Okay, then I'm now going to run it. Save that. Let's run it, and you hear what's going to happen now.
Database successfully connected.
You hear that, guys? So it's telling me the database is successfully connected. So let's exit out and go straight into the login button. Double click on the login button. Right inside the login button, the very first thing I would like to do is to officially open up my database. So let's say con. Remember the con? That is the one that was declared right up here. I'm now calling it inside my login button. All I want it to do now is to open up the database dot open. There we go. And what I then want it to do is to create. I'm going to create that would be OleDb command, and I'm just going to call that the instant. I'll call it cmd. That will be equals new OLDB. That would be actually equals the connect dot create. I want it to create command. There we go. Now the next thing is, first of all, let's enter parenthesis in here and a semicolon there. Now the next thing we want to do now is, I'm now going to say my new command here, that will be dot command type, and this command type is going to take in the command type that it will be taken in, that's going to be text. There, enter semicolon. Now this command dot text, I'm going to now use that to write an SQL statement. Open up a bracket and let's say select all from the name of my database. That should actually be inside a quote. The name of my database is called csave. Csave, from csave, where username, okay, that will be equals single quotes, double quotes, plus txt username dot text, that is the first one, plus double quote, single quote, and we now enter and, let's do that in lowercase, and password. Okay, this is my very password, and that will be equals, drag this so that you guys can see it, that will be equals single quote and a double quote with a plus sign, txt password dot text, plus double quote, single quote, double quote, and out here just enter semicolon. Okay, so what I've just done in here is, if whatever we have inside username, if it's equals to what we have in here inside the text box of username and the text box of the password, then we want the system to do the following. So let's press enter. Now in there I'm going to enter OleDb, that will be the data reader itself, this very one. We want it to read the data, and in there I'm just going to give that a name. I'll call it dp, and dp will be equals cmd dot execute reader. There we go. Now the next thing is, I'm going to do as follows. I'm going to create an integer here. That integer I'm going to call it checkers, and that checkers, the first value will be 0. So now come down here, let's use a while loop statement. While dp dot read, enter parenthesis, let's come right down here, and I'm going to open up a bracket. Then I'm going to say checker equals checker plus 1. Checker will be equals checker plus 1. There we go. Using an if statement. Okay, if checker itself equals 1, we want the system to say something. So I'm going to say if checker equals the value of 1 equals 1, enter curly braces. We now want the system to say something to us, so I'm going to come in here. Let's just copy all of that statement again. Copy that, come right down here and just paste that right in here. We want the system to tell us you have successfully logged in, something like that. So let's change this to you have successfully logged in. Okay, that is what the system is going to say. Else if there's any problem with, sometimes you might end up with duplicate and so on. So we want the checker to kind of like let you know that, look man, you have duplicate copies. So in here I'm just going to say else if checker is greater than 1. If it's greater than 1, that means we have duplicate in this case. So I'm going to just come in here and just say you have duplicate or whatever. Let's just say duplicate or duplicated. Of course, we don't want the user to duplicate anything. Duplicated login details. There. Okay, that is that taken care of. Else underneath here, if your details is invalid, just want the system to tell you straight away, invalid login details right here. Come right down here. Let's just say invalid. Invalid login details. Then we want the following to happen. txt, we want that cleared, dot clear. There. We also want the text, the username, txt, username, dot clear. And we then want you to get focus on username, txt, username. Yep. We want it to be dot set focus. There we go. Okay. I think I can also put this inside the duplicated one. Copy that and just paste it right inside duplicate. There we go. Right. Now that all of that is done, underneath here we need to close our database. Dot close. Enter parentheses. There we go. But supposing here, you see here where we have you have successfully logged into the system, we want you to open up the form. Okay, remember the form that was created right up here. Okay, look at the form. I think I call it Teams form. I'm going to copy Teams form. Double click on this. Once you successfully logged into the system, we want Teams form. Okay, that's the speaker. The speaker is telling you successfully logged into the system. There, Teams form dot show. Okay, and then say this dot hide. You can hide the current form. There we go, and that is it. If you're wondering that ordinary login system is long, you can see everything that we had to do to get this login system to be more user friendly for the end user. Okay, let's try it out, but before then I'm just going to show you guys the lines of code again. There we go. Those are all the libraries that I have to call these two. Now come right down. That is my speaker right there, and that is my connection, database connection. This is my address. Mine will definitely be different from yours. Scroll all the way so that you see the rest of it. That is it right there. Okay, now that is the object created for form 2. I then created a viewer there, actually a function. You can also call it a method, and I call that function right in here. This function is to open up the database, and it will tell you if the database is connected or not. Once you open up a database, you must always close it, and this is just the speaker. Okay, and that is actually inside an error handler. Try cache. Now this is my exit function. Okay, underneath is the reset function. Now let's go down. This is the images for the eyes. Okay, now after that, the images for the eyes is the login details itself. That's the login details, and here are the other lines of code for the login details. Have a good look at it. Okay, that's the SQL statement. If I bring this down so that you can see it properly, hopefully it should work like that. Okay, now another object is created that will do the reading for me. Come down and then declare a variable that will check what's going on within the readings. If the entering is right, then this message will pop up. If we run into a duplicated username, we end up with this. Okay, this message will pop up. If it's invalid data, this pops up. Either way, the database must be closed. And that is all there is to it. I'm going to now run it. Let's hope it will work despite the fact that I've turned this into 2 lines. It should work anyway, so let's run it now. So let's click on run.
Database successfully connected.
There we go. So I'm going to enter invalid data in there. That's an invalid data. Let's check that out. You can click on this to see what I've added. Close that. Click on login.
Invalid login details.
The system got cleared. I'm going to enter Peter Gambino. Peter Gambino is a duplicated copy on my database. Okay, so login.
Duplicated login details.
That got deleted. But if I enter Paul Oman,
you have successfully logged in.
you see that, guys? And that's how you create your own login system using MS Access in C# with sound validation or with speech validation. So with that, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed, and please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member of the channel. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.